Jibble, jibble, jibble. That's how we say hello in B-roll land. Curtis has burnt his flesh in the sun, and he's been missing for 2 days. Hence his sign language, because he had cabin fever and went insane. Today's episode of B-roll is a very sad one.
It's very melancholy.
This episode is dedicated to all those who lost their lives in Hiroshima. Hence why we're watching 5 Children in It.
We're going on a secret mission behind enemy lines. The chances are that none of us will make it back alive.
Oh my goodness, 5 children. But you're not due till Friday.
This holiday season, you are invited to discover
Your nephews and nieces.
Impossible! Not due till Friday!
Today is Friday.
Can't be! Smell that, that's Thursday.
a very unusual house
I was taught never to talk to strangers, but I do need test subjects for my experiments.
You're allowed everywhere except the greenhouse.
and a secret
Never ever go into the greenhouse.
they were never meant to find.
I can see light. Come on, something's inside it.
Stay back!
It can be dangerous.
I am a Samian crustacean decapodilium wishosaurus.
Curtis, you fuckhead, have you ever heard of 5 Children in
Well,
It?
because I'm such a big fuckboy, I have not. I don't even know what it was. I don't know what it's about. I don't know who's in it. I don't know who directed it. I've never heard of it before, so this should be a ride.
Even though you've never even heard of this film before, what do you think the IMDb score for it is?
Gonna say like 5.8.
I genuinely thought you were going to get it, 5.6.
Damn it!
And what about the Rotten Tomatoes?
Okay, 48%?
57%.
57. Okay, so it's more even.
Yeah.
Alright.
Okay. Let's use...
No. Why?
Let's show a clip of someone doing a Gangnam Style parody and fuck my dick with a knife.
Digging Minecraft style. Minecraft style. Digging Minecraft style. Minecraft style. Digging Minecraft style. Digging Minecraft style.
So we just watched 5 Children and the It. Curtis, what did you think?
It was terrible.
It was really, really bad.
The one word that always came to mind throughout this film was just what? Or excuse me? Or why? This film was so just all over the place.
Let's start at the beginning. The intro is the most cardboard cutout intro ever.
Yeah.
So these kids, it's during the war. And
The Second World War.
No, the First World War.
It was First
It was
World War.
First World War.
Oh, okay.
And they're getting evacuated to the country to be with their cousin and uncle. And like the Freddie Highmore's character, the little boy, is like doing some narrative over the scene, and it's like the most stereotypical. It's like,
It's so generic.
I knew when I was going to the country I'd find an adventure, but I had no idea what kind of adventure I'd find, or something like that.
Yeah, and they try to make it all whimsical as well. Have that generic like music from the early 2000s, and then there's like they get on the train and they say goodbye to their mum and their father. The father hands the little boy.
Dad's going to war.
Yeah, basically he's a plane pilot.
And he gives his son a compass. And
compass.
it's like, if you ever need to find me, there's no compass.
And they get on the train, and there's all these generic shots of the train, and then there's more exposition as they go on the train, and just this is when the inconsistencies start coming in, because the scene 2 minutes before that happened, the mother goes, "Okay, the family will pick you up at the train station," and then they have to walk in the pouring rain.
Yeah, then for some reason the kids walk to the house.
Yeah, they walk to the house from the train station, even though they were supposed to be picked up. And it's that's where it begins.
Yeah.
And then it doesn't end. Things just pop up and it makes no sense, and they just ignore it. I think the one line that sums it up the most is basically they're not allowed inside the greenhouse, and this one kid goes in the greenhouse and then brings all the other kids because he finds a little door, and this the little baby character, which plays no part in the film by the way, except to open this one door.
Could just not been there.
Yeah, opens the door, and then everyone's like, "How do you do that?" And one character goes, "Who knows?"
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
like, us, the audience, wants
Yeah,
to know.
every question you have, they acknowledge and then choose not to answer.
Hmm.
Like, there's a part where the kids have gone flying with wings, because the thing is that they make wishes that can only last till sunset. And they go flying with these wings, and then of course sunset happens, they fall, and then when they come back, the uncle is like really stirred and stuff,
Yeah.
at least for the beginning. And then
yeah,
it
and then
changes.
he's very lenient.
He's like, "Where have you been?" They're like, "We were taking the dog for a walk." And then the cousin's like, "We don't have a dog." And the uncle goes, "Oh, just use your imagination,
And then
Horace."
there's one bit where the uncle...
That doesn't explain
Yeah, it
anything.
doesn't. And then there's one point when the uncle looks out the window to see the kids flying away with angel wings.
Yeah.
He just goes, "Ha ha," and then looks back at his book.
Yeah.
And it was like, what?
One thing that was very obvious to me was how badly this movie wanted to be the new Narnia.
Oh, I felt that so
So
strong.
bad. It was like
even the intro of the train.
It's exactly like the intro
it
to
was
Narnia.
identical.
Yeah.
So basically, there's this one bit where they have to go into the greenhouse, and like I said, they unlock the door and go downstairs. And what we assume basically is that they go to like a magical area,
Like Coraline
yeah,
or
yeah,
Narnia.
yeah. So they go
or-
to somewhere magical, and they just end up on this beach, just this regular old
Which you
beach.
find out at the end is the beach right in front of the
Yeah,
house.
yeah, right next to the house.
So
off
really
the
it was a
cliff.
tunnel. It wasn't
Yeah.
actually a portal. or
And
anything.
they're there like, "Wow, look at this beach, it's so magical!" And there's all this whimsical music playing, and you're just like, "Guys, it's just the beach.
It's a beach.
What's going on?" And then they
It's just, for me, that came across as lazy.
It was
like
very lazy.
Apparently it's based on a book. Maybe in the book it was a beach.
Yeah.
But I feel like when you make a film, especially because this is Jim Henson Productions,
Yeah.
like it would have been so much, like just take some creative liberty and they can go through that door and they can find themselves in this
Like some
magical...
really nice area.
But no, it's a fucking beach.
yeah,
like-
it's so boring. That's the
and
same
it's
with,
not
like,
even
most
like a
of the
full
film.
beach. It's like a corner of a beach.
Yeah, for some reason they have this weird thing about not showing the whole beach. They either show just the wall
Yeah.
of the entrance where they come out of, or just the sea. They
Yeah.
don't show anything else. Like, it's so strange. And then that's when they find the character It, and we'll go into that
Yeah,
character
we'll go
later
into the
on.
characters in a bit, but
Ooh.
one of the, because this movie really dragged, even though it's only an hour and 25.
Yeah.
One thing that made it drag mainly is probably the biggest complaint I have about it is the amount of dialogue that has absolutely nothing to do
Nothing.
with anything.
I-
When they first introduce the uncle, he goes on for about 5 minutes about how he doesn't know what day it is.
Yeah, and then like they do this whole thing about how they lost the whole month of October.
Yeah.
And then
for
not
ages. And
yeah.
then it cuts to the next scene and they're still talking
Yeah,
about it.
and then there's like plot points as well that never come back up. Like, for example, there's like this whole like subplot about the uncle trying to make this book of hard sums, and it never comes into
Never
the
comes up
story
again.
It does come back, but it doesn't affect the plot in
No,
any
no,
way.
no, yeah. You feel like it's going to because it does develop.
Yeah.
Like, it turns out that the publishers want to make it more kid-friendly.
Yeah.
And you go, oh, if they're putting this much time and effort into it, it must be relevant. Nope.
Nope.
Does nothing.
Nope.
Serves nothing.
Nope. No Porono. Nope. No, it doesn't do anything.
Nothing is explained. Like, all these
Ow.
rules that it sets up, like, the wishes only last till sunset. It always has to go wrong by the end. The thing with the dad, you know, it's never explained. Like,
Yeah.
why is this happening? Just
It
why?
doesn't make any sense. And then what's even worse is it's kind of this.
The little kid Horace has a dinosaur egg, an actual dinosaur egg. Why?
Yeah,
Where?
no reason.
Why?
Has a monster lab full of all these interesting monsters. Where'd you get these monsters from? Is this like a world that has
Doesn't matter,
monsters in
kids.
them?
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, who cares? Who
Who
cares?
cares?
Who
Doesn't matter.
cares?
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, really one that bugged me was basically this is a kind of like, you know, fairy tale story of like, oh, be careful what you wish for, because if you wish for something, you know, important, it might go wrong, or, you know, something along those
You
lines.
might wish for something that you thought
Yeah.
you wanted, but turns out you don't
Yeah,
want.
and basically, like, I would assume they would show that at the end. But no, like halfway through the film, it goes, oh, and whenever you do a fucking wish, it goes wrong, and you're supposed to learn from it.
Yeah, he even says.
He
goes, you're
those
supposed to learn
words.
to be careful what you wish for. And me and Kurt said it. He was like, okay, so the movie should end now.
Yeah, because we've learned the moral, so what's the point?
So that's halfway.
No
the
sense.
last half is completely pointless.
It's completely. There's no point to it
like
whatsoever.
I think they make like about 5 wishes in the film, and that's after wish 1.
Yeah,
he establishes that.
Yeah.
So we have 4 more wishes, which again adds to the point that so it has explained to these kids that every time they make a wish, it will go by sunset anyway. That it will always go wrong. But they make 4 more wishes.
They still go for it. They still
They
like, oh
still
no, it
make
might be
wishes.
okay. It was like, oh.
Yeah, Freddie Highmore even says, like, the older brother is like, he's like, oh, I'm going to make a wish. And the older brother's like, well, no, don't bother because it's going to go by sunset. And then Freddie Highmore goes, maybe this one won't. And everyone just accepts that fucking argument.
Like, it's perfectly
That's
fine.
a completely logical reasoning right there, mate.
So basically, there's that one point in the film where one of the characters, all the like children come back in after just flying because they try and find their father, and then the mother comes in with the uncle and goes, "Oh yeah, by the way, your father's plane crashed over France. He's probably dead."
Yeah.
And they all just are not fazed by it.
Except
None
for
of them
Freddie
are
Highmore.
crying. Yeah.
No one else seems to give a shit.
No one cries. And in a few scenes later on, the mother
Mum
looks
is
fine.
reading a book in the
and
library.
she's smiling, and
Yeah.
she's doing tea, and she's helping with Horace, who gets ill later on in the film, and no one's fazed by it.
Yeah.
And it's so strange, because it's like, your father's just died.
What makes it more strange is the jarring juxtaposition from how everyone else doesn't give a shit and how Freddie Highmore's character is like irrationally angry.
Yeah.
Like, I know his dad might be dead, but he's like mad and he's like smashing shit.
So, bit of a spoiler alert here, not like you're going to watch this film because it's terrible.
Don't.
Don't, seriously. But basically, their dad is presumed dead, and basically they make a wish saying, oh yeah, can we have our dad back? And they basically wish the dad back, comes back from the dead, or so we think, we're not really too sure. Apparently it turns out he was just missing.
Yeah.
Which they don't really explain.
He was in a plane crash, but he's completely unscathed.
Yeah, completely. And then he like comes on the beach and all the children are there.
Because they wished for him.
'cause they
to be
wished for
back,
him,
yeah.
and it's actually quite a funny line because he comes out, picks all the children, he's like, "Oh, how did I get here?" And it's like, yeah, well, that would be a reasonable question.
Most tragically hilarious part for me is Freddie Highmore, who's the most upset, the one who made the wish, is doing some other shit. And when he arrives, the sun sets and his dad just disappears.
He just vanishes.
Which
Just
isn't
thin
supposed to
air.
be a funny scene, but because, as we'll get into, the characters are so mean-spirited,
Yeah.
we find it funny. It's the Always Sunny Seinfeld thing.
Yeah, of course.
Where we find it funny when bad things happen to the characters in Sunny or bad things happen to the characters in Seinfeld because they're bad people.
Yeah, exactly. So, even though this, like, dad's missing and everything there, the last scene of the film, the one that really pissed me off the most, was he's counting down for hide and seek. He's going up from 20.
Freddie Highmore.
Freddie Highmore, yeah, sorry. He gets to 20 and then his dad goes, 20. And he's saying, Dad, you're here!
Never explained why.
No reason why. Apparently he didn't die. He was just missing. And
I don't know how he knew how to get there.
Yeah,
and how he got there so quick.
And also, how did the army relieve him? Did they let him go off?
Well,
why?
according to this film, the war lasted about a week.
Yeah, there was barely any war.
That's another thing I want to say before we get into the next part, is the perception of time in this film is really fucked.
Yeah.
Like, they'll make a wish at the start of the day in the morning, and then 10 minutes will pass and it'll already be sunset.
Yeah.
And you'll be really confused. And one thing is the fact that, like, they established at the start of the film that the war's, like, just started. They're just starting to evacuate
it's
people.
just gone.
And if you have a perception of time when you watch films like I do and like Kurt does, they've probably been there about a week and a half.
But this is the confusing part about it. There's at one point where the little girl's writing the diary and there's a bit of like narration. She says they've been there for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Which is like that, but it was like a scene after the first wish.
Yeah.
And they only did the first wish after like as soon as they got there.
It was like the first day they made the first wish.
There was no sense of time whatsoever. It felt like it all took place in like 4 days for me.
Which is another reason why the pacing was so bad.
Oh yeah.
Was because you were like, they'd spend 20 minutes on one day and then 5 seconds on another day, and you're like, well, wait, hold up. What's going on? Yeah?
It's magical.
I will grant you your wish if you want me to give you extra hands. Ooh.
It's mischievous.
Have your parents tried boiling you?
It's the most amazing thing
Was that it?
Yeah, good, eh?
you could ever wish for.
In terms of the characters, like, other than Freddie Highmore, who's obviously the focus of this film,
Yeah,
the other kids are so underdeveloped.
they really are.
Like, the older brother, I don't know anything about him. One of the girls plays the violin badly.
The other one's just there.
She's just there.
Yeah.
And then there's a baby.
Do you know how underdeveloped they were? We didn't know the girls' names until the very end
When
where
we
it came
read
up
the
in
credits.
They didn't say their names.
Or if they did,
once.
we didn't notice.
Yeah. And we only knew like the two main characters like names
Because they said their names
because
a
they
lot.
said their names a
Oh,
lot.
well, Sybil, the older brother, was said a lot.
Yeah.
We only just managed to catch him call Freddie Highmore Robert.
I'm pretty sure that was. And the only reason that was is because he showered it. But that was one time.
Yeah.
If we missed that, we'd have known the
No,
main
we
character's name.
Hence why we keep calling him Freddie Highmore. Because
Yeah.
we don't know. We like.
Can't remember his name.
But
Can't remember any of their
another
names.
thing about the kids, which I touched on earlier, everyone else is a fucking dick.
They're such
That's
assholes.
just so mean to everyone.
There's one scene where they get this like car dealer like arrested.
They
'cause
trick him. They tell him that one of them's 27.
Yeah.
So they trick him into letting them drive. Then they destroy the town, and then they get him arrested.
Yeah,
this
because-
car dealer who did nothing other than because the reason that he's portrayed as a bad guy, but all he did was he saw these kids fucking about with his car.
Yeah.
And he went, "What are you doing?" Ooh, how awful! That's what
Yeah,
I do if I
yeah,
went to the car
exactly.
dealership.
Then like he let like the older brother, who I guess like could maybe be mistaken for a bit older,
Yeah.
to like drive this car, and they had all this gold that they wished for basically, and then it just vanishes, and they just let him get taken away to prison.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's so mean spirited, and then they're so mean to each other.
Yeah.
There's so many times where they're like pushing each other, just shouting at each other.
Well, they're really irrational. Like, there'll be a scene where, like, they're just talking normally, and then one person will make, like, a sly quip at one of them.
Yeah.
And then that kid will get really angry,
Like,
and
red-faced
say
angry.
horrible things to each
Yeah.
other. And you're just like, why should I care about you? And not just them, it's a fucking cunt.
Oh yeah, definitely.
He's like, he takes pleasure in being malicious to these kids, which doesn't make sense by the end when they treat him like a friend. They throw him a birthday
Yeah,
party.
yeah.
Even though he's done nothing but be cruel to them, like sadistically cruel. Horace, the cousin who he kidnaps it and he wants to dissect it and stuff. He's like all scientific and nerdy. He's a fucking arsehole.
He's
the uncle's
biggest.
a prick.
Yeah.
Like, everyone's just really unlikable. And you don't know who to root for, hence why we laughed when Freddie Highmore saw his dad disappear. Because we were like, ha ha, fuck you. Like, ugh.
They're so just fucking evil.
The Horace kid is probably the best part about the film. He's actually
to be
he's
fair,
pretty funny.
I enjoyed every single scene he was in. Not every single scene, but I mean, like when
He was the
there,
best part of every
he
scene.
was the best
in.
part.
He was kind of funny and goofy. There's a part where the maid brings in this massive pie, and he's like, and it's
eating it.
he was easily the best thing about the film.
Oh yeah.
Except for an unintentional thing, which Curtis will now tell you about.
So we can't confirm this obviously because
This is opinion. This is opinion.
So we're not trying to disrespect Eddie Izzard in any way here, but basically Eddie Izzard plays it,
and he's drunk as fuck.
the whole time. All of his lines are slurred.
He's just like, I'm gonna grant you a wish.
There's lines that don't even sound like they should be in the film, but they just put in because he just said them in the studio and
Yeah.
they couldn't get him to say things. There's one point where he's like, "Why have you awoken me?"
Yeah.
And I can just see like a bunch of runs just going like, "Eddie, you need to wake up and do your
You need
line.
to do your lines,
Come on, you
dude,
need
come on."
stop drinking so much."
There's a part where they rescue him from Horace with the dinosaur and shit, and you can hear him talking in the background.
Yeah.
And I swear that's just Eddie Izzard. Just
Definitely.
like left the recording
That
on.
happened a few times where you would just like be like
in
rambling
background,
to
just saying
himself.
something, and you have to
And he's like,
kind of
"What-
listen.
What's he
and
saying? And he's saying complete nonsense.
He's just going like, "Right, I went down to the shop the other day," and it's just like,
Yeah.
you are so drunk.
He's off his tits.
And but the thing is, what happens is that even though it is probably on screen for about 5 minutes in total, he has about 5 minutes screen time. His scenes are really funny.
Yeah.
Not because what he's saying is particularly funny or the situation. It's just the fact that opinion, but I'm convinced he's drunk.
Definitely.
So it makes
He
it
has
really
to
funny.
be.
He just sounds so drunk, and it's hilarious to watch him, to listen to him deliver these
That's the
lines.
one thing I would give like a plus for this film.
It's
is
the fact that
it.
Eddie Izzard
Just
is so
because how
drunk.
drunk he is.
That's it.
Yeah, good, eh?
You could ever wish for.
It has to be our secret.
What's it?
This is big.
I know you've got a secret!
It's monumentally, colossally ginormous.
Quick thing on directing, there wasn't really much good direction, to be honest. The actors looked like they had no idea how they were supposed to deliver their lines.
Yeah.
And then also
There was an
cinema-
overuse of Dutch angles that
yeah.
looked hideous.
Like and all the cinematography was all close up, and there was some like decent sets, and they didn't give us any chance to absorb them at all.
Yeah.
They're just all close ups, and we were just like, can we just see this shit, please?
Yeah.
And the cinematography was just really bland and boring. There was nothing interesting. I can't remember one decent shot, except for maybe the train at the start, but even then, that's just taken straight out of Chronicles of Narnia. So I can't think of anything redeemable about the directing whatsoever, really.
It's just so bland.
It really was.
It's probably like, when you think about the fact that it's 2004, it's some of the worst CGI I've ever seen of this
it's
on this side of the
terrible.
century. And like, this movie clearly has a decent enough budget. I mean, it has Kenneth Branagh in it and stuff, and like, you know, Eddie Izzard signed on to it, and at this point Eddie Izzard was quite popular and stuff. So it clearly had the budget to get these actors. It was Jim Henson, for God's sake. People always invest in Jim Henson. The CG was like reboot.
worst.
It was honestly like reboot, but non-ironic. Like, it was so bad. There's a part where they get angel wings,
It's
and one of the
so
sisters
unbelievable.
touches it, and it's like imagine Curtis is the angel wing. It's like that. Oh
It's
wow,
terrible.
angel wing.
You can tell where they've had to like cut in
Yeah.
everything, and you're just like, oh my! And, when
And then
they're
you see him flying through the clouds.
Oh
and
my
they're like-
god! And they
it's-
look so blurry, and you're just like, why do they look like that?
Yeah, like, oh my, honestly, it was hilarious,
Oh.
like, to see that.
Fair dues to the film. It had some decent set design and costumes. I mean, like at the start, I thought they were gonna be good, but they started to dip near the middle area.
Kenneth
like, as
Branagh's
they got-
makeup is pretty
Oh
good.
yeah, no, his makeup's pretty good, to be fair, but like all the kids just look very generic, and when they get into town, there's these nuns and just
There's a lot of it's the color scheme as well. There's a lot of for a fantasy adventure film for kids. There's a lot of brown and grey, and I know it takes place during wartime, but again, I'm gonna have to keep referring it to it because it's obviously a rip-off. But Chronicles of Narnia, the first one, you know, it starts off with a lot of brown and grey, but the reason they did that was so it was really beautiful when they
went
go
into
into
the
Narnia,
snow, yeah.
and then there's these beautiful colours and sets and stuff. It didn't have that. It was like, and when they go through the door and you don't know where they're going, they go to a brown and grey beach.
yeah, it's gross.
It is brown and grey, and it's just such an ugly colour
It's
scheme.
disgusting. It really is.
Make the wish stop.
This October,
You're in for a treat.
Zoe Wanamaker,
What could possibly go wrong?
Keep getting us into trouble.
Kenneth Branagh, Eddie Izzard as It,
Just started to have fun.
We're just in time for the dissection.
Leave it for the delicious monster collection you
And
have.
now I have you to complete it.
5 Children, and It.
Boom. You still here?
Okay, what did you think of 5 Children Nick? Closing thoughts.
okay.
Jerry Springer's final thoughts on Friday's show.
So,
It's a callback because we watched Cable Guy the other day.
so I think excluding Cat in the Hat, which was damn near unwatchable.
Well,
I
we
think-
didn't finish
yeah,
it.
we didn't finish it. This is the worst one yet.
This is worse, and this is worse than Mr. McGowan.
Yeah, at least with Mr. McGowan, there was interesting like visuals every now and again. This was just drab.
At least
boring.
Dustin Hoffman was
yeah,
in it.
Yeah. And just there was only like 1 or 2 redeemable factors about it, and even then they weren't.
It wasn't
enough.
It
intentional
wasn't,
as well.
and they weren't enough.
Yeah, they
to,
weren't
like,
enough, and they weren't intentional as well. They were all like just out of nowhere, out
Stuff
of
that
left
we
field.
found funny.
Yeah, so yeah, it was shit.
No, yeah, I completely agree. You know, I think it was just such a drab film, and like just such a film. It's just like, can something interesting please happen?
Please.
And then you get like 30 seconds of hilarious drunk Eddie Izzard, and then
Yeah.
it'd be gone, and then you're stuck with a bunch of bullshit, some dialogue that serves nothing, isn't even funny. It's just, it was so painful, and that's why I'm gonna have to give it a 3 out of 10.
I'm gonna agree with that. I'm giving it a 3 out of 10 as well.
3 out of 10.
It was very bad.
It was very hard to watch. However, we did say earlier, don't watch it. I would say do watch it, just so you can have your own opinion whether or not Eddie Izzard's drunk.
Yeah, no, we would actually like to see that.
Yeah.
See what people think.
Be ready to be bored most of the time.
Oh,
if
yeah.
you can find a YouTube compilation of just its scenes, watch that instead. But I am genuinely interested to find out if anyone else thinks that he's absolutely
We
hammered.
need to research into that and see if it is actually the case. Welcome to Top 5. Today we'll be looking at top 5 nostalgia films. Films that really resonate within our hearts. Films that we look back on for years to come and go, that's a good one. So,
Me and Curtis have swapped seats because I need to charge my phone.
that's it. That's all
He's
this
not
is.
the main host, guys.
No, don't
worry,
worry.
you don't have to click off.
Don't worry about it, guys. The funny one's still here.
A couple of only 2 honourable mentions for me, and that's Bug's Life and Spider-Man, the Sam Raimi movie. So I'm just gonna go straight to my number 5. My number 5 is Labyrinth.
You remind me of the babe. Babe with the power. Power of voodoo. You do. Remind me of the babe. Quiet! A goblin babe. Well... I saw my baby crying hard as babe could cry. What could I do? My baby's love had gone and left my baby blue. Nobody knew what kind of magic spell to use. Slime and snails, or puppy thumbs tails, thunder or lightning. And baby said, dance, magic dance, dance, magic dance, magic dance, magic dance.
I absolutely adore this movie. The practical effects are gorgeous. The songs are fucking dope. It's David Bowie's soundtrack.
Yes.
David Bowie's great. Jennifer Connelly's great. The sets are great. The adventure, you get invested.
You get invested in it and you just want to see where it goes.
It's just such a fun ride
Yeah.
of a movie. And it's a movie you watch when you're a kid and you never forget it. And it's always stayed with me. I watch it at least once a year. Just because I go, oh, I haven't watched Labyrinth in forever, and I just, you know.
Now, this one I'm slightly embarrassed about, but you know, it's a nostalgic film, so just whatever, just keep with it. So, my number 5 is Star Wars Episode 3.
General, we found the Jedi. They're in hallway 328.
Activate ray shields!
Ray shields. Wait a minute. How did this happen? We're smarter than this.
Apparently not. I say patience.
Patience.
Yes. R2 will be along in a few moments, and then he'll release the ray shields. See? No problem.
Don't move.
Do you have a plan B?
Now, let me explain why. At this point, this is when I just first started, like, really getting into films when I was a kid and watching them quite a lot. And I was really, really excited for Episode 3. I remember when I saw the promotional stuff coming out, and even though when I rewatch it now, it's utter shit and I hate it, I still have that like little bit of my childhood in me where I bought a lightsaber afterward and I was really excited for the film and went to go see it with my dad, where I'm like, oh, even though this is shit, I still kind of enjoy it because I have that nostalgia of the first time I was ever excited to see a film. Yes, okay, but it's my nostalgia. It's not a good nostalgia, but it's nostalgia. What's your number 4 before a lynch mob comes and hangs me?
Yeah, internet, shout at him. My number 4 is the Gene Wilder classic, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Come with me, and you'll be in a world of pure imagination. Take a look, and you'll see into your imagination. We'll begin with a spin, traveling in the world of my creation. What we'll see will defy explanation. If you want to view paradise, simply look around and view it. Anything you want to do it. Want to change the world. There's nothing to it.
No, I rewatched it today actually.
Really?
Because,
It's lovely.
I love everything. Again, it's sort of similar to Labyrinth in a way, in the fact that the songs are just fucking great. The set is beautiful. The pacing's really good. I didn't realize how
the
good
pacing is
was.
really nice.
And Gene Wilder is
beautiful,
just,
man.
Mwah,
He's fantastic.
Every
He is
time,
Willy
like,
Wonka.
when he was on screen, like I was just drawn in, just constantly.
Every single time
and the
he's
thing
on
is,
it,
what
you
he was
just get
really
drawn
good at
to
in
him.
that movie was someone else would be talking, but he'd just be doing these funny little mannerisms.
My number 4 is Toy Soldiers.
Anyone who leaves this building will be shot. We will take a head count now, and again in the morning. If one person is missing, 5 of you will be executed.
Do you mean Small Soldiers?
Is it? Oh shit, Small Soldiers.
Tail dog, soldiers! Butch meat hook, sniper. Lethal from any distance, sir.
Good to have you aboard. Dick Nitro, demolition is my mission. Served with your father. He's a good man.
Brick bazooka, artillery, ready to go full bore, sir.
Save it for the enemy.
Link static. Communications awaiting dispatch of orders, sir.
Double up on your rations, Sparky.
Kip Kelligan, covert insurgent, sharp as a razor.
Sir, let me see that weapon. Standard issue is insufficient. All right, ladies, now listen, and listen good. Our mission, destroy the Gorgonite enemy, defeat him.
Yes, sir.
There will be no mercy. Search the area and secure new arms. Commandos, full help.
Small Soldiers will be my number 4.
Yeah, I love Small Soldiers.
Yeah, no, it's a really great film, and what I really loved about it, I saw it when I was quite young over at my friend's house, and I always was really intrigued with like playing with toys and like making my own little worlds and everything. So I got really invested into the film, and it was one point I remember I used to watch it every single night for about like 4 weeks
It's just
straight.
like, for me, first of all, made by Joe Dante, who did Gremlins and The
Yeah.
Burbs, 2 of my favorite like comedy horrors.
Oh yeah, I love those.
And like, it's just such a cool movie when
It
you're a kid.
really is, and that's just like why I love it so much, and I still watch it to this day.
Yeah, it's a great movie. My number 3 is Bill and Ted movies, both of them. Mainly the second one, which is strange.
How's it going, Bill and Ted? Ted, it's us again. How's it going, Bill? Not bad, Bill. And you? Bad.
We came to help you guys in your most unfortunate situation. How? Come with us. We'll show you.
Okay.
Excuse us. Dude. I got a weird feeling here.
Why?
I don't know. How do we know these guys are really us?
Ted, we've been through this before. Now, if it wasn't for the previous intervention of our future selves, would we have even passed history? Or met the babes? Or had a most excellent adventure through time?
I actually saw the second one first, and I didn't know that it was a sequel because it's not like it's called Bill and Ted's 2.
That's
it's called
true,
Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey or something. And but then I watched the first one when I was about 9-ish.
All we are is dust in the wind, dude.
But I just love these movies. I feel like they shaped me
fantastic.
in a certain way. It's just such a fun, unique brand of humor, of where you just laugh at how dumb these guys are.
Yeah.
And the fact that they went, how about we take a time travel movie? The first one anyway. How about we take a time travel movie and put the worst possible people to travel in time in it, and they're doing it for like such a selfish, it's the past history, and like it's just so goofy in 80s. And then the second one is like dark,
yeah, they have death in it, and it's like
Grim Reapers. They go to hell.
Yeah,
the hell's really cool. They've got a really cool idea for hell.
Oh yeah,
like they have those rooms where it's own personal house and stuff. What's your number 3?
My number 3 is A Day After Tomorrow. Some of these are...
I'm really sorry, guys.
Yeah.
Like, I've got dope-ass movies on mine, and yours
said
is
this...
just trash.
Dude, you gotta understand, all I watched as a kid was trash. So, the reason why this is quite nostalgic to me is because it was one of the first ever grown-up films that I watched. And I remember the first time I watched it, the next day I went into school, and we had this question. I vividly remember this. We had this question about like why people shouldn't stay out into the cold too much, and I was like, oh, because they could get hypothermia and die. I watched that in Day After Tomorrow.
I remember that.
Yeah, and the teacher was like, oh, well done, Curtis. What did you have for breakfast? And I was like,
Cocoa Pops, miss.
And I really love the destruction in it. And even to this day, it's like it was on my guilty pleasure list. I still kind of enjoy watching it, and I'm there just kind of like, I should hate this, but I'm so nostalgic for it because I used to watch it all the time.
My number 2 is a movie which is still one of my favourite movies to this day, and it's Tom Hanks' Big.
Piano lessons? 3 years. Me too. Every day after school.
Chopsticks.
Oh,
fucking
yes.
Like, it's just like as a kid, seeing this kid wish to be an adult,
yes.
and then he works at a toy company and
That's
he's rich.
the dream.
He's got this apartment
Oh my
with
God.
a Pepsi machine and a trampoline in it, and that's what it was. It was like fantasy to me, and it was like,
I wish
that's
I had that.
beautiful.
I wish I had
you know,
that.
Tom Hanks is brilliant in his
oh yeah,
as
he's
he is
fantastic.
in literally everything. And you know, he just stuck with me because it's just such a pleasant movie to watch, and you just have a
great time. Yeah, it was fantastic. So my number 2, talking about disappointments. So my number 2 is Thomas Tank and the Magic Railway.
Just a little sweeter, I think.
All right, Pinchy, my little bucket of badness. Time to feast yourself.
Now that's better.
Cinders and ashes, it's Diesel!
Diesel? Oh, no. Hello, Twinkle Toes. I got a plan, and you're not in it.
You can't catch me, Diesel!
Losing your sparkle, huh? What perfect timing. Now, where is that lost engine?
So the reason why this was one of my favourite films growing up is because I was really into the TV show growing up. I liked it. There we are. What's your number 2?
No, finish.
Okay. So the reason why I really liked it was because I really liked the Thomas the Tank TV show, and it was like one of the first ever VHSs I owned. It was like all golden and shit, and I used to take extra care of it because I loved it. And it was the first ever movie I actually ever saw, like one of the first ever ones. I was like 2 or 3 when it came out, and I used to just like pop that shit in my VHS player, just fucking watch it, rewind it from the start, watch it over and over again. Even though I've not seen it in years, it's kind of ingrained in the back of my mind, and I can still remember scenes, and it's like, get out of there, get the demons out.
My number 1 is Cats, 1998.
The family assembled for Sunday dinner. Their minds made up that they won't get dinner.
Argentine joint!
We'll take eggs and greens, then the cook would appear from behind the scenes.
And saying a voice that is broken with sorrow, I'm afraid you must wait and have dinner tomorrow. The joint has gone from the oven like that.
Then the family will say, it's that horrible cat.
What's it, Mungo Jerry?
Or a rum teaser.
And most of the time,
they leave it at that. Mungo Jerry and the Rumple Teaser have a wonderful way of working together. And some of the time you would say it was a rock, and some of the time you would say it was weather. We go through the ass like an hurricane. In no song but person can take his oath.
Cats, for most people watching will be like, what the fuck are you talking about? Cats 1998 is a televised production of Cats, which I had on VHS as a kid. And I would watch so much that it actually wore away the tape in the VHS.
Wow.
Didn't watch it for years. I'm talking at least a decade, right? Watched it again, and then watched it 5 times.
Oh, it was beautiful.
And then I showed it to
Curtis. It's mesmerizing.
It's a roller coaster.
I've never seen anything
the
like it.
Great. The choreography is
the
great.
set design, the makeup.
The actors are great. The set design, the makeup,
it's
the
phenomenal.
costume. It's a ride.
But
and if you haven't watched it,
get on it.
Get on it.
Get
dude.
on it.
Like,
so my number 1, which isn't that Spider-Man.
Yay!
Weird.
Peter?
Yeah?
Are you alright?
I'm fine.
Any better this morning? Any change?
Change? Yeah. Big change.
Well, hurry up. You're going to be late.
This was the first ever DVD I ever owned on my first ever DVD player. I remember my mum went into Asda and she was like, "Oh, I'm going to treat you because it's near to your birthday."
was sponsored by Asda.
And I was like, "We're going to treat you because I'm going to buy you a DVD player. It's this state-of-the-art, perfect thing. It's so great you can hear a nail drop." And we got the DVD player, and I remember I put it in on a shitty little TV, and I watched the hell out of it.
Yeah.
I would just fucking go on the special features. I would listen to all the music. I wanted every single moment of that fucking DVD. I remember there was one week where I did nothing when I got home from school, except for go on the special features, listen to the commentary. I listened to the fucking commentary when I was like 7. What is that shit? What 7-year-old does that? I really like Spider-Man 1.
And 2.
And 2.
That's your B-roll, guys. I hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Next week, we will have a special guest.
Ooh, who will it be? Whoever
Well,
will
who
it
else
be?
would it be?
Yeah,
I mean,
there's only
it's
one
Khan.
person.
I mean, it's
yeah.
Khan.
Yeah.
Who else? We don't have any other friends.
Yeah.
And remember... I'm back, faggots.